Doctor, 2 years ago, a relatively unknown Democratic challenger came very close to knocking off the incumbent congressman in this district, Joe Nolenberg. Do you worry that you could effectively change the outcome the way arguably Ralph Nader did in the presidential election a few years ago?
Makes no difference. They're both crooks. You got to understand that I'm not just being cynical. I'm stating a fact that's hard to digest. The party system must be destroyed. You people, I'm telling you things that shock some people.
Let's take Jim.
Dr. Kevorkian, most of us are here tonight because we respect the cause that made you famous. You employed a wonderful strategy to make that point during that time period. And then it seems like you made a bad strategic change that created a situation.
What do you say in plain English? What's your real point? What's your point?
My real point is you had bad judgment when you didn't use when you represented yourself. My question is why should we have confidence in your judgment to represent us in Congress?
Really, do you think I was that stupid when I did that?
Yes.
It looked stupid, didn't it? I had no choice. I had no. Who supported your cause and was hoping that you would be able to continue that cause. Okay, but no one asked, why did he do that? I knew I had to get to the Supreme Court, and the only way to do it was to be convicted. That's why I did it. But my point is, you didn't get to go to court. Instead, you went to prison, and nobody has replaced you. I went to prison to get to the Supreme Court on a constitutional issue which they refused to take. Do you need any more evidence that we're living in a corrupt country with a corrupt government?
I agree. But the thing is this, Jack, I want you to know this. I've known you for many years, and I believe in what you've done, and I believe in what you're trying to do. And I say, I came down here.
What am I trying to do?
Is to get elected, to try to do a job that's
You're wrong. No? You missed the point entirely. That's wrong.
No, it's not. Well, okay, you say.
My aim is to make the Ninth Amendment known to the American public.
But the thing is this, is what you've been doing before, and the illnesses, the people that you put to sleep, the people that got tired of living because of the illness.
Forget that. That's nothing irrelevant. That's relevant.
No, but
I think his reason for assisting in suicides was exactly what he's doing now. It's about our rights. It was about that the man who was too sick to live and chose to rather be dead had a right to choose that, which is it goes along with what Jack's doing now.
Is that big enough for you to fight for all your rights?
Jack, you can fight for all your rights. You can say what the heck you want to say.
Is that big enough for you as an issue? You see my problem with the public. You're going to meet many like him.
You should be happy to be like him.
No, I wish you weren't here.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because you're an enemy of the people. You're an enemy of the American people.
Oh, American enemy, my eye, Jack. Come on.
I said I wish you weren't here. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, all right. Hey.
Don't come to any more.
Hey, I won't.
Tell your friends to stay away.
I will. I will.
You're looking at live pictures from Gloucester High School in Bloomfield Hills, and Joe Nolenberg is going to cast his vote this morning.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'll go over your conditions of parole once again. You must not provide care for any adult age 62 or older.
That's right.
You must not work in a position involving the care of another person. And you must not present in any assisted suicide, euthanasia, or in any way participate in these activities. So we've gone over those.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Have you heard of any lately?
No.
I voted for you, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
How are you?
Voted for you, thank you.
What's your name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Good. Did you vote? Did you vote?
Oh, yeah. We
Anyway,
have choice.
nice to meet you.
We're glad to still be living in America, aren't we?
Not necessarily.
Well, so far.
I voted for you.
Yep, I voted for you.
Karen voted
That's
for
a
you.
nice omen. That's a good omen.
Harry and Arlene voted
And I met 7 or 8 people on the street today who said they voted for me.
Okay, here's Jack. Speak loud.
Hello, Mike.
You sound good.
It's an exciting night. It's a different experience in life that's very extraordinary.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, but the odds are slim, Mike.
Listen, forget the odds. Whatever you do, you're doing the right way and the right thing.
You're right. That's important. You're right.
That's the story of your life.
It's on speakerphone.
Well, it's the story of my life, no matter what happens, Mike. Because I'm going to talk at a couple of universities in February and March, and I think couple more. And talking to the young people like that at the universities is where hope for the future lies.
Gotta tell you, I have nothing but respect and affection for you and admiration for you.
Well, I return that. That's mutual, Mike. That's mutual.
Here to see whether Jack won. It's not possible.
How you doing, big guy?
I'm pretty good, Chip. How are you? It's always good to see you. No clutch.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing, Jack?
Oh, hi.
We beat, I think Obama won.
Well, of course he did. That's a given. But that doesn't, he's going to change anything.
Patriot.
President has no power. You know where the power is? Come on, you know where it is.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I could tell you a few things.
No, where's the power, ultimate power in his government?
Supreme Court.
Absolutely. And Jefferson hated that.
I know.
We got to destroy the Supreme Court.
I'm going to get a glass of wine.
Okay, nice to see you, Jeff.
He's in third.
That's amazing.
It looks like Joe Nolenberg is now conceding that he has lost the race for Congress.
Can I have everybody's attention, please? Everybody come here. I think we should have a toast.
Already?
I've just been watching the election results, and there is a incredibly closely contested race in the congressional district. Unfortunately, Jack, it's not between you and anyone else. But only one person in Oakland County had the cojones, or should I say in English, the balls, to take on the establishment and say this is the way things should be, and this is the way things are. There's one man who was willing to do that. There's one man who was willing to give up 9 years of his life for a principle that history will look back and say that was a great man, and what they did to you was not only unjust, but abominable. And that was a person who I've loved for many years and respected as a human being, as a physician, not necessarily as a legal scholar.
I was the best wannabe.
But certainly as a man, and I think that we're all here not only to support or grieve with him with regard to the election results, but to tell him that we love him, and whatever you do, as long as you don't do it on 60 Minutes, we'll support him.
You know, Jack is a guy that I never really had a sit-down conversation with. I never did think he was going to get more than 1 or 2% of the total, and he did. That's probably what he got. But I do think that he's beginning to age to a point where he actually can't. He couldn't even get up on that step, if you remember seeing that. And I felt sorry for him because he has no business being in this game at that age with his health condition the way it is. But anyhow, he's there. He's doing what he wants to do.
That's a little uneven.
Yeah, that's all right. No, I'm all right, Ruth. If I can hang on to the wall, I'm fine.
Well, Jack, I am so proud of you for what you have accomplished over the last 11 months. You don't give yourself enough credit, you scrawny old
its value is minimal. Its value is good, but it's minimal. It's positive, but minimal. I quote this one guy over and over, Curtis White. The only fights worth fighting are those that you're going to lose and lose and lose until somebody comes by and wins. And that's where I am. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose here. I'm not going to convince these students, but you get a spark going maybe. You don't know. You may just hit the right thing, the right phrase, the right time to get a spark going. And this is what counts.
In the future, he will be remembered as a great man, and he will be a hero. And anybody living today who doesn't understand that has no understanding of what he did, the impact of what he has done, and his willingness to sacrifice himself.
You're going to watch a certain person suffer and keep suffering and suffering and dying in agony because somebody's debating this problem? There is a problem. We all agree on that. Any rational person would. If there's a problem, I implore my colleagues to come forward and do something.
Kevorkian is like an Old Testament prophet who's very disagreeable, hard to take, nobody you want over for a weekend, but who tells us some unpleasant truths. And maybe the most unpleasant truth he told us was that we are a whole country in denial about death. You can go your whole life without seeing somebody die. In the 19th century, people saw people die in their homes. But not anymore. It's all antiseptic. People think there's no pain, there's no suffering, and in fact, there usually is a whole lot of both.
Jack presented the facts. We chose not to listen to him. As a society, we chose not to listen to him. We're the failure, not Jack.
So it looks like we've sold out of tickets, or come very close to it.
Really?
Which is exciting already, which we
That
really
means you
expect
didn't
so
have
soon.
enough tickets, that's all.
How long is your speech as prepared?
I have no speech.
Oh, you could just have a...
I wing it.
I like this. This is good. Okay.
All right.
Be nice if I tripped. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel, is that a crowd? Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm doing what Jefferson said to do. Inform and educate the whole mass of people, for they are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. It's the young ones that are going to do this. and they're going to fight for their rights in the future.